Pancake Pose, Kurmasana, Tortoise Pose. How come some people can lean forward when their legs are just on the side of their body with a small straddle, and some people can only lean forward and place their chest on the floor in a pancake pose when their legs are very wide apart? How come such individual differences? A few days ago, an easy flexibility practitioner wrote and asked how come he can do this when his legs are about 40 degrees apart, but he cannot do this when his legs go wider. So his chest is on the floor and his legs are just outside of his torso. He tries to go wider and his body cannot go forward. While he noticed that other people have it the other way. They can do it when their legs are wider, and they cannot do it when their legs are closer, when they're trying to place their chest on the floor with straight torso in pancake pose. So he's correct. More people are able to place their chest on the floor in a pancake when their legs are wider, and not able to do it when their legs are closer together, and fewer people can do it with their legs are closer together and not with their legs apart. So why does this happen? Well, depending on activities that people do, depending on what they stretch as part of the activity, depending on what kind of stretching they do, depending on their occupation, how the energy flows in the body. I mean, there's different energy pathways that go through different muscles. If energy pathways are blocked, or the energy is not flowing properly, the muscles will be tighter there, and this has to do with a lot of things. The energy with emotions, nutrition, occupation, genetics, and things like that. So while it is possible for someone to develop flexibility in certain muscles that are tight, and this is what we've been specializing in for a long time, naturally some people have more flexibility in certain muscles as opposed to others. And of course you want to develop your strengths and also develop your weaknesses. So you want to get more flexible where you're already flexible, and you want to get more flexible where you're not as flexible. So people who have relatively flexible hamstrings and tighter adductors and also tighter pectineus, they are able to reach forward with their legs closer together, place their chest on the floor. As the legs move further apart, well then that's more stretch for their adductors, and then they cannot do it. They need to sit up more to bring their legs apart. They can't be forward anymore. But for most people, it's of course the other way. More people have flexible adductors and flexible pectineus. It's important to have pectineus in there. It's a hip flexor, but it's function as an adductor very much. And these people usually have tighter hamstrings, especially tighter lateral hamstrings, the biceps femoris. So as your legs move further apart in a straddle, there's less flexibility requirement on the lateral hamstring and more flexibility requirement on the medial hamstring, which is semitendinosus and semimembranosus. The two of them form the medial hamstring. And of course, just like more people have flexible adductors than hamstrings in general, more people have flexible medial hamstring as opposed to lateral hamstring, simply because of how most exercises are structured. There are dancers, for example, who have movements which require to bring the leg not up in front of the body, but up in front and across to the other side, and they develop the lateral hamstrings more than other people that don't have the same requirement, more than other people who don't have the same requirement for their activity. So in easy flexibility system, we focus on each ZST, each Zajchuk stretching technique focuses on one muscle at a time. So it doesn't matter where you have the tightness, you can get it with ZST. You can get that muscle to become more flexible with Zajchuk stretching technique. And as for me personally, and I know for a lot of people, I assume almost everyone, if not everyone, it feels good to be able to do something that you were not able to do before. So if you can do a pancake pose with your legs apart, very far apart, work on doing it with your legs together or closer together, not completely together of course. And if you can do it with your legs very close together, work on doing it with your legs further apart. You will enjoy the results.